Hello. Have you heard the news? My community is in an uproar. It seems the school performance scores have come out. Our one and only high school, Assumption, is an A school, while many of the schools that are feeding into it are C, D, and F school. Our community wants answers. So in this video, I'll show you how that's done. But before then, I'll introduce myself. Hi, my name is Niki C. Patterson. I'm an educational consultant with I Prevail K through 12 Educational Consultants. I work with principals in low-performing schools to help them increase their performance scores, decrease disruptive behaviors, and recruit and retain quality teachers. While my community doesn't know all that goes into school improvement success, I do, and that's why I'm here today. So, let's get started. My community recently received the school performance scores for the 2018-2019 school year. When they received those scores, our one and only high school, Assumption High, was an A-rated school. We are excited and thrilled about this because we've been working towards it for a long time now. However, many of the other schools, all of the other schools that are feeding into it, none of them have an A score. So the parents are concerned. What's going on? How can the high school be an A-rated school when the schools that are pouring into it are C, D, and F schools? So when we look at the data, there's certain things that go into the scores that you would need to know in order for you to understand what's going on. For starters, the high school scores are not comprised as the same as the elementary and middle school scores. For example, on the elementary level, the school performance scores, the actual standardized test, makes up 75% of the score that the school is going to receive. The progress that students are making towards being mastery makes up another 25%. So there you have it. 100% of the scores comes from either the progress towards the school performance score satisfaction or the actual satisfactory performance on the school performance scores. There are no other factors. For the middle schools, we have three factors that contribute to the overall success of the school. The first thing, 70% of the school performance scores from the standardized tests are factored into the overall grade that the school receives. 25% comes from the actual progress that students are making towards mastery on the standardized test. And 5% comes from whether or not students accumulate high school credit while in middle school. So if a student accumulates credit while in middle school, then that school is going to get 5% points based on the number of students that actually accumulate credit. The high school is a totally different factor or metric system. So there are four components that contribute to the high school success. The first component is the state assessment itself. It's only worth 25 points, or 25% of the overall 100 points needed to factor in the school's performance score. Then you would have the graduation rate. That means the students from the previous year, based on their graduation rate, if you have more students that are graduating within that 4-year track, so if they come into school in 2019 and they leave 4 years, within 4 years, then that means they're going to get satisfactory performance for their graduation rate. The strength of the diploma is another thing that's calculated. That's 25%. So right now we're at 75%, but only 25% have come from the school performance scores. So that's 50% more or less than the actual elementary scores and about 45% less than the actual middle school scores. So the actual scores at the high school level on the standardized test or the actual testing that students take to see whether or not they are ready for the next grade is only worth 25% of the entire school score. The other 25%, so we have 25 for graduation rate, 25% for the diploma, the strength of the diploma, and then another 25% for the assessment itself. The last 25% is for any ACT prep or anything, work keys, anything that's going to help the students become college and career ready. So if we're looking at it, you cannot compare apples to apples with the high school scores and their performance versus the feeder schools that are scoring that are pouring into that high school. So the elementary school has a lot more weight that's considered when it comes down to the standardized test than the high school. The middle school has a little bit more weight than the high school, but not as much as the elementary school. So those three are totally different metrics when we are looking at what contributes to the high school growth, and why the score for the high school can be an A, while the low performing, while the elementary and the middle schools are low performing. So I hope that answered your question. If you have any questions, please look. My information is, I have information on my business page, I Prevail K through 12 Learning, which is on Facebook. But if you have any questions, you can email me, info@nikicpatterson.com, or you can go to my website, www.nikicpatterson.com, and I'll provide you with more information. If this has been helpful, please share it. Talk to you later. Bye.